First and foremost, people would describe me as a mother. I'm very proud of that, and that's my favorite title. I would also say people would describe me as someone who has a deep commitment to social justice issues and the communities that represent me and my family. And then lastly, I would say people would describe me as someone who has the ability to connect deeply with people. I am a daughter of immigrants. My father came from Guatemala, San Pedro, San Marcos, Zacatepeques, Guatemala. We have a lot of indigenous Mayan roots, and I'm very proud of that. My mother is from Cuauhtemoc, Chihuahua, Mexico, which is a border town just south of Texas. I was born and raised in Chicago, and that identity was really important to me. A lot of things I experienced in public school that really started to shape my ability to see how Black and Brown communities are treated and prevented from getting access to a lot of different resources. I'm the Chief of Staff and Learning at the Kapor Center. I've been here almost 2 years. I think the word that comes to mind with this job, joy. I feel like part of that joy is both deeply rooted in the mission of what we do. It just connects to my own personal life. But also I think the other part is that I get to have these fun conversations with staff and even external partners. And I feel like I model vulnerability and others trust in me. And I hear, a lot of incredible stories that are deeply moving that always remind me of why and what our distance traveled stories are together and how collectively we're stronger. Another part of my distance traveled is my sexuality. I came out of the closet when I was in high school, much to my father's chagrin. That was a very difficult, intense moment where I felt like at times I might get kicked out of my house and not know where I was gonna live. And it helped shape my identity in college, and I really became, from the minute I was able to leave, so I went to school at Occidental College in Los Angeles, and it just really shaped my activist roots, and I got really involved in being outspoken, making sure I was at the table. I made sure that I honored intersectional identities, right, of being Central American, being Mexican, being indigenous, being queer. And so I literally participated in every student group of those identities, and I pushed the conversation. I feel like this role now comes full circle for me to make sure we provide access to technology. I really believe that technology is a lever for social change, but we've got to bring down the wall in Silicon Valley that is usually typically white men that are controlling what we have access to, how we have access to it, how our algorithms incarcerate Black and brown men. And so that is the experience that just put it all into perspective for me, and I'm so blessed to come full circle in this way and be able to contribute actively to making our world and making our communities better by providing equitable access to technology. Pride Month, when you really think about it and you think about the calendar of all of these different heritage months, it's the only celebration that uses an emotion and a feeling to describe itself. I think that's a beautiful thing, right? Because when you think about pride, you think about this introspection and this sense of self and courage. And so I really try to anchor myself in that value. I try to always anchor myself in being proud, but I think in the month of June, it just really comes out of how do I embody pride in the work I do and become unapologetic, right? And an advocate for the queer community and for the other communities that I serve. Jacqueline Novergrath said, "I want future generations to look back on us and say, look how hard they tried, not look at how blind they were." I think it's just really important to wake up and do the best work that we can and always be grounded in action for change for communities. My distance traveled is that I was born and raised in Chicago. I am the oldest and only daughter of 2 immigrant parents. I have 2 young brothers who I deeply love. I am the mother of 2 children, a 4 and a 5-year-old. And I am a queer, indigenous, brown woman. So that's my distance traveled.